In this video, I want to talk about the best gel and the best electrolytes any runner can use. And before we get into that, I want to introduce myself. If you don't know who I am, my name is Reese Jones. I'm an ultra runner. I've ran 10 marathons in 10 days. I've set a 50-mile and 100-mile course record in St. George, Utah. And overall, I'm just someone who loves running. And my mission is to help people also enjoy running and stay away from injuries, stay strong, get fit and fast. And so if you want to hear more stories or tips for running, feel free to hit that subscribe button. But let's get into it. And the best gel, the best electrolytes any runner can use is the one that works for them. So I wasn't going to come on here and talk about, hey, Huma is better than Goo, or you should do Redmond's electrolytes. What I wanted to talk about is the importance of experimenting as a runner. Everybody is different, right? And so it's important that you learn what works for you. And it's so easy in today's world with social media to see your favorite ultra runner running with a certain gel or a certain type of nutrition and just to start using that. Maybe it even works okay for you. But if you never experiment with something else, you don't know what you're missing out on. And so I think it's really important for runners, especially as you get into the ultra distance, it's really important that runners experiment with things. When I first got into ultra running, I used a ton of goo gels, and I would just get nauseous towards the end of my ultras, and I thought that was just normal because, 100 miles is difficult regardless. That's going to beat up the body. But once I switched to Huma, I haven't really had any, nausea or feeling sick in races since I switched to Huma, right? And I'm not saying Huma is the best one out there. I think it works for me, and it's because I've tested a lot of different types of gels out there. So I think that's really important. The electrolytes I use currently, when it comes to racing, I don't even know the brand name. I think it's like Design Health or something like that. And they're not a running specific electrolytes. They're not some brand like Tailwind or Redmond's. They're something my mom found and was using for herself, and I started using these when training, and it seems to work great for me. So it's really important you experiment and try things, especially in your longer runs, because that's where you're going to simulate your race more than like a 3-mile run. And I think it's just important that we test things out for ourselves. So if you're running with goo gels and you feel amazing, I say stick with it. If Martin works for you, cool. Maybe you need to try something else, and I don't think it hurts. Like maybe you've been doing one gel since you've been running and you've been running for a couple years. I don't think it hurts to experiment with something else a couple times because, again, you don't know what you're missing out on. And if there's something that might work a little bit better for you, you're never going to figure that out unless you try. So if you were expecting me to give you a certain brand to try, that's not what I'm here to do. I would say the most important thing is that you experiment and try and figure out what works best for you, because there are vegans who are successful ultra runners and there are carnivores who are successful ultra runners. And at any distance there's people doing different types of things, right? So I think especially in ultras, it's such a new sport, or where there's so much we don't understand about it, that, it seems like anyone could make anything work when it comes to that distance. And even at the 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, there are people who use different things and have different diets. So this is your reminder to find out what works for you. Don't get into the hype of what so-and-so is using, or this person who set this record uses this, right? You need to experiment for yourself, and that's something I continue to do every day. So I appreciate your time. I know it's valuable. Hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more running stories or tips and tricks from my perspective. I appreciate your time. I know it's valuable, and I hope to see you on the trails sometime soon.